My name is Lionel Reynaud, and I am Vice President of Creative for Ubisoft Montreal, and I work on Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, and the other games that are yet to be announced.
My name is Jean Guédon, and I'm a Creative Director on Assassin's Creed here at Ubisoft Montreal.
First is hold a vision for the studio. Give the strategy and where we go in terms of what kind of world we create, what kind of characters we want to have, what kind of design, and how the experience must be absolutely consistent and super engaging.
Creative Director on a big game like Assassin's Creed means giving the vision to the teams so that everybody knows why we need to make this game.
And the second thing is work with them every day to make sure that on each step we are at the highest quality we can achieve.
Is a fearsome dog that feeds off trouble and turmoil.
When you create something new, there is no recipe. You have technical constraints and technical aspirations, but you don't have any limits to what can be achieved.
There is no official book that says first you do this, and you do that, you know. So it's always very organic. It has to be fluid and evolving. You know, there is no rule set in stone for such a process.
It's a lot of experience and gut feeling combined, I would say.
It's really an iterative process. Finding new locations and new time periods is not the more difficult part. Just open an history book and you will find dozens of them.
The creative juice comes from everywhere. And if I was to summarize it, it's very often a combination of art or technology or design that have something new, something fresh.
If you come to the Assassin's Creed floor, you will find a lot of books. We document ourselves a lot, so it comes obviously from books, movies, documentaries. We meet a lot of consultants too. All this is now the material that we craft the game from.
Sometimes it's technology that offer level of interaction that was not possible before, like open world is a very good example of that. Like the technology with the last generation of consoles allowed us to have very big open worlds. Sometimes an artist has a very strong vision of what he wants to convey, and then the technology will try to support this idea, and then the design will make this experience become an interactive experience.
You start with an idea, we start with an intention, because you need to start somewhere, right? So we have the location, we have the people, we have the activities, so we try to find some gameplays that are relevant to the time period. For example, in AC2, we introduced our first economic system, and this was mirroring and showcasing the rise of the bank system. We have historical figures that we want to meet, so then we craft a story involving them, historical event that we want to participate in.
We want the world and the characters to be alive and feel true to the player.
You need to evolve and to make sure you always follow the way where you feel the game is going in the good direction. You cannot force a creation to be something it doesn't want to be.
What you are looking for is the magic, and it doesn't come from a recipe or from a process. It comes from the talents. When everything goes right, you reach a perfect combination of art, theme, narratives, and gameplay. And then there is something magic that happens, where even developers forget about the technology or the design, but just live the experience and get fascinated by the players in this experience.
On him!
From failure could emerge some beauty, some pleasure. So sometimes you think a feature will be like that, you know, this is the way to do it, and then you make it and you realize it sucks. But because you did this, you also touched something else that you weren't considering as a big part, and you realize that actually this one, it was in the shadow of the first one, and it becomes, you know, see what I mean? So that's the beauty of it.
The art, the themes, and the gameplay must fit together perfectly, and then you have an experience that you will really enjoy and never forget.
For me, the process of game development is you can do whatever you want, but basically you have only questions. How do we do it? What do we do? Who do we play with? What are the gameplays? What is the setting? only questions, no answer. By the end of the development, you have to have all answers and no more questions open.
There is always a blend of emotions because the first thing is like you're super proud of delivering the game and have people play it. We're proud and excited to have our players finally able to play what we've been working on for 3 years, 4 years.
Send me back in meetings where we are, passionate discussions about should it be that way or that way. And in the end, having it concretely and people liking it, it's the best possible, it's so gratifying.